Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on KZAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. It's a CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports radio station. And you can actually watch and listen on my YouTube TV channel. And it also goes to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and a plethora of other places. I am your hashtag positively opinionated host who is feeling the effects of having 8 jobs, but very happy to be here with you. I have lots of great things to talk about today. Been reporting live from the Newport Beach Film Festival. I have just wrapped up the Catalina Jazz Festival, finished teaching my 6-module leadership, effectiveness, success, and happiness course at UCLA, and just finished an interview with someone I'm going to bring on a little bit later in the show, Monica Mahindran, who works with the Library of Congress with a great idea on how to honor veterans and bring some joy into your life during this season. So that's all. Oh, and then talk about how to handle criticism, which I may be getting soon. And also, what's your life motto? It is Mental Health Matters Tuesday instead of Monday. If you missed my fabulous show yesterday, which was with the founder of Sandy Hook Promise. That was a great interview, an amazing woman who, after losing her son, didn't lose him, after he was murdered by the shooter at Sandy Hook Elementary School. A month later, she started this organization to help, do the thing that I love the most, when people take their pain and they direct it into how to help and find solution for gun violence. And so it was a great conversation. If you missed that, just go to my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe, and you will get that entire interview that was live yesterday. And before I forget where I am, let's do our breakfast. This is my good life habit, my practice, my hashtag Blisscipline that we do every single weekday morning on the show, because I don't talk about all the things that everyone else is talking about on purpose, because you can get that everywhere. And most of the time it's bad news. I want to balance out the bad news with some good news, good people, good guests, good topics. And so we start that anchoring that whole idea with having breakfast with myself and whoever is in studio with me today. And since it's myself today, because it's usually myself on Mondays. Yesterday we had a guest, so we're switching it up. Today, what are you grateful for? Taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich for breakfast. Please feel free, if you're driving and listening on the AM FM side, do not write down your gratitudes. But if you're not, please do in the chat. What are you grateful for this morning? Dr. Wayne Dyer said 5 things to be grateful for. I'm a bit of an overachiever, so I say 8. 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. So I'll start. I'm grateful that I got to interview Monica Mahindran, that you will hear in a bit, on the Veterans Project. And it's wonderful. I'm grateful that our government, the Library of Congress, is doing things to honor our veterans. Never enough, but This is an angle that I just think is beautiful, and we can all participate in that. And I'm grateful that last night I got to party with the Latin Spotlight and the Mexican Spotlight films, and I got to watch a great film by an Irish director and a team that I'm going to have on the show to interview, and that'll be fun. We're scheduling that now. I am grateful that on Wednesday, it's my night at the film festival. I'm one of the Chinese Spotlight film sponsors. I'm grateful. I thought I did it like 6 or 7 years. I've been saying, I'm not quite sure. I went back and looked. I was doing this since 2013. So it's been 11 forking years that I've been one of the sponsors and working with Newport Beach Film Festival. And hats off to Greg. I got Greg to do some dance moves on the Times dance floor yesterday. I'll post that, much to his chagrin, I'm sure. He and Todd have done an amazing job with the Newport Beach Film Festival. I'm grateful that I get to go to my physical therapist today and, continue to work on, I think I'm young. I think I look young. I definitely act young, but my body is definitely saying, these hips don't lie. The back doesn't lie. So I get, I used to call PT, physical therapy stood for pain and torture. I shouldn't say that, but I do very much appreciate Medcessity, my physical therapist, and Josh, my particular pain and torturer. And that's it for gratitudes. I don't see any in the comment section, so you must be driving because I do see eyeballs in the studio. And welcome to the show. Let's go to the bottom of the button, which is my weight training for you to think of things that you are grateful for inside of yourself. So I call it appreciation because it's gratitude turns inwards, and it's something I want you to do before you go to bed tonight. Instead of thinking about other things, what you done me wrong, who done who wrong, what I didn't do right, and no wonder you can't sleep. So instead, I want you to think about those things that you like about yourself. And for a lot of us, that's not easy. When you're young, you're told don't toot your own horn or you're not all that. For me, as a Chinese woman, in Chinese and Japanese, there's an actual saying that says the nail that stands up is hammered down. So not a lot of incentive to talk nicely about yourself. So as a result of that, many of us are walking around on social media going, who likes me? Literally, which is such a disturbing exercise. Because even if someone likes you one day, they may not like you another day. And it's a horrible way to judge your life. So I want you to weight train. What do you like about yourself? So no matter what happens, you have unconditional happiness. No matter what happens, you know who you are. You know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at, but no one's perfect. So you're 88% fabulous, 12% of the time. I step in it. But I do like and appreciate that I am imperfect, and I'm not going to beat myself up when sometimes, not always, not most of the time, but sometimes I F up. I fork up, and I have to cut myself some slack and say, what can I do next time so that doesn't happen? So, and I appreciate my ability to cut myself some slack. I appreciate my ability to dance. I've been doing the hashtag dancing queen. People have been liking it on my social media, speaking of likes. But I do love to dance, and I do dance like no one's watching, even when there are a lot of people watching. But that's okay, because that's me. And I love myself 88% of the time. I also appreciate my ability to yabber at you. This is consecutive week number 651 on the air on camera. podcast show number 1252. So I appreciate my ability to stick to something. Although my sticking to 8 things right now is definitely causing me some, maybe I need to drop 1 or 2 things. But that's it for having breakfast with Dr. Marissa and taking a bite out of my gratitude sandwich, the way we start every show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. So what's the topic for today? How to take criticism. I love criticism. And sarcasm is another service I offer. And then the other one is what's your life motto? What do you live? If you have never thought about this or actually articulated what your life motto is, this is the show for you. And I can help you with some of that. If you're looking for a life motto, it's one of my favorite things to do. I think in my past life, I was a copywriter or an ad agency, because I love creating bylines and book titles and any kind of title. That's why I love doing with my co-hosts. What do you want to talk about? And then I make a fun title out of it. So if you'd like help with your life motto, today's your show day, and you can chat with me and tell me a little bit about yourself, and we'll do a real-time free. Usually it's a $200 working session, but we will do it free here for anyone that wants to craft their own life motto. And I'm going to pull up one of why we picked this topic was because when I got to interview Halle Berry, these were 2 of the things that we talked about. So let's see if I can't pull this up right now. So those of you who haven't seen this,
actually say
when I got to interview Halle Berry,
people criticize you, like when they actually say things. What happens and how do you get yourself?
Oops, it's not very loud. So I was just trying to see if I couldn't make this louder. Oops. Let's see. Are you still? I think it went to the wrong place. Let's start here. Okay.
What do you do when people criticize you, like when they actually say things? What and how do you get yourself out of that?
Just pretend I never heard it and keep it moving. That's where I'm at this point in life.
Yeah.
To hear that and keep going. I learned not to let anyone's real criticism of me sort of stop my flow. I'm open to constructive criticism because I always want to learn and grow. But sometimes there's criticism that feels mean in nature and in spirit, and that kind of criticism I just like a duck. I let it go out.
Right. Do you have like a little process that you use that when you wake up and you're not feeling really good? I have a lot of listeners who, they want to be positive, they want to feel good, but sometimes they just feel bad, and that critic in the head is going, what do you do?
I have a little affirmation book that I keep usually by my bed. I often read different affirmations either before I go to bed to have that on my mind, or I wake up and read something really positive. A lot of things from the Dalai Lama.
I love the Dalai Lama.
Those kind of spiritual little snippets sort of are a good way to start the day, I find.
Do you have like a life motto that you use like mine's don't die wondering? So what do you use?
If you're going through hell, keep going.
Beautiful.
I wanted to address today for Mental Health Matters Monday. So, all right. That was Halle Berry, and when I got to interview her on the carpet, and what a lovely, beautiful, and this is exactly why I do my show, because I hear so much criticism of a lot of different people, and I get to meet them firsthand and tell you that they're lovely. And so I also really liked what she said about criticism. I recently dealt with criticism as a topic when I was teaching. I just finished a course at UCLA called Leadership, Effectiveness, and Happiness. And it's a new course that I designed that I'm hoping I can roll out to business schools or leadership education everywhere, because there's so much focus on, teaching leaders about motivational styles or communication or the leadership model and professional mastery. But if you don't have personal mastery, like if you don't know how to handle your self-sabotager, your critic in your head, if you don't know how to deal with your own fear of failure, fear of success, if you're your own worst critic, then you're not professionally a master. There is no professional mastery. That becomes an imposter syndrome. You look good, you sound good, you are promoted well, but inside you are waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're not so secure in who you are. There's conditional happiness. And that, my friends, I really believe is something that we all could use some help with, those who don't want to spend 10 years in therapy, or it's not something that you really talk about. No one wants to talk about their insecurities. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. We all have that part of us that is so hard on us. So this course is a new one. I tested it out when I spoke at 2 universities in China, just finished the modules at UCLA. I'm grateful that the feedback, the administrator said, one said it was excellent, the other said it was stellar. So we're on. We're gonna continue. It's part of my Happy 88 mission. If we can all help ourselves with our own mental health by being super secure in why we're here, the purpose of our lives, which is to have joy and happiness. Not to, have all these toys that our relatives fight over when we die. That's not why we're here. We're not here to sacrifice ourselves to help other people and ourselves. We are just miserable because we're so exhausted. That's not why we're here. We're not here for fame and fortune, because that's not going to bring you happiness. Ask Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade, Robin Williams, the list goes on. So I'm here as your personal advocate to have you choose happiness. And one of the ways we do that is personal mastery. So the 2 topics today on that are taking criticism. How do we know, or how do we ask for constructive criticism? How do we deal with criticism? And then 2, what's your life motto? And I'll be helping you with that. And then we have our return guest, who I'm going to play right now after we take a quick break. And this is a great idea for the holidays. So it's the Veterans Project. I'll be right back. Don't go away. In 2 and 2, I'm not Chuck Woolery. I'm going to say peace in, peace out. But after we hear a word from our sponsors, we're going to come back and hear from Monica Mahendran. And it's Dr. Marissa about to report live on the red carpet of the 25th Newport Beach Film Festival, October 17th through 24th. And I'm, again, the proud sponsor of the Chinese Spotlight film. And I get to give away free passes to the Pacific Showcase, which highlights and celebrates all things Asian. film, food, and fun. So tune into my show. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, to find out how to win passes for the Asian Oprah giveaway, as well as the promo code. So you can get discount tickets at www.newportbeachfilmfest.com. We'll see you there soon.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And you're tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. And today is getting ready for the holidays. Let's make this a season to preserve history. Joining me today is Monica Mahindra, Director of Veteran History Project at the Library of Congress. And she's been on my studio before. Welcome back, Monica. As families get together this fall and for the holidays, the Veterans History Project is encouraging volunteers to record interviews with veterans and to help preserve their personal stories. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate and recognize our people that have sacrificed their life for us. So what a great idea for a holiday season that is all about family and love and inclusion. So welcome back to my studio, Monica Mahindran. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having us back, Dr. Marissa. It's really great to be with you.
Absolutely. I got to give you a little applause here. So tell me, since I spoke to you last, how is the Veterans History Project? And for those of you who did miss her first interview here, what is it, the Veterans History Project?
The Veterans History Project is doing really well. We're headed into almost 25 years. That'll be next year. At the Library of Congress, we're really a multitude of things, kind of like you, Dr. Marissa. We are first and foremost an opportunity for your listeners to connect with the veteran in their life, in their community, the U.S. service member, and be part of history, encounter history, participate in history by gathering or recording the first person remembrance of that U.S. veteran in their lives and contributing it to the other part of what we are, which is this important national archive, now standing over 120,000 individual stories of U.S. veterans' first person experience. Those veterans are those who served from World War I through the more recent conflicts.
Wow, that's great. I'm guessing that through our interviews and your interviews with other people, things have rolled because the number is much bigger than last time. So I'm happy about that. Congratulations. And why are you focusing on collecting stories and engaging volunteers now? Why now?
Heading into this Veterans Day season, which is what we call it, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and then into the December holidays, it really gives people this amazing opportunity to slow down and ask deep and meaningful questions about the season and what we're doing with our time, what we're doing for gifts. Veterans Day gives us the opportunity to stop and think, who is the veteran in our lives? We often conceive of someone that may be forecast to us from movies or books or television shows, but maybe she's the Asian American postal delivery carrier that brought you your Thanksgiving cards, and it's time to ask her about her service. And maybe it's someone in your family member, a cousin that you didn't realize had joined and served. or an aunt or an uncle who can't talk about their service because they were told when they joined they couldn't, but now is the time to ask them. So the holidays give us this moment of seriousness of purpose already. Combine that with the Library of Congress seriousness of purpose, and what you get is a moment to create a meaningful gift for you, for your family, and truly for the nation and for the future.
Fantastic. It's definitely a way to go beyond thank you for your service, which is great. I'm glad we're doing that, but this is definitely a great next step. Now, how can volunteers or veterans who want to participate get involved?
It's really as simple as participating in this national grassroots effort by walking out your door and engaging with people. The quickest way to get there is to first go to our website at the Library of Congress, which is loc.gov/vet. So that's LOC for Library of Congress.gov for government /vets for veterans, VETS. There, you'll find the important forms that help you be part of this serious archival effort. You'll find tips and tricks for interviewing or gathering those first-person original materials. You'll find how to use that little recorder device that we all carry around in our pockets now. We can't all be as professional as you, but we can get good quality sound, and all that information is there at that website.
Fantastic. Now, who's eligible to submit their history to this project?
The Library of Congress Veterans History Project, on that same website, 120,000 plus individual collections that you can tap into. We are recruiting the stories of U.S. veterans from World War I through the more recent conflicts. So those are the veterans that are eligible to participate, but really anyone 16 and older can help be part of history by gathering these stories, by working with the veterans in their lives and other volunteers in your community to make this happen.
Fantastic. I'm in. My bonus dad served in the Korean War. He's 94. So I'll be doing this with him. My grandpa Carl's already on the other side. He served in First and Second World War. So, but I'm going to get my bonus dad, Graham Martin, to do this for sure. That's my Christmas present. So you talk to it. Now, what are some? Yeah. Now, what makes this project so special? I mean, I feel it already, but.
Well, I think you've described it. You're going to sit down with your loved one and you're going to get a really important story. The Korean War is often called the Forgotten War. There's so much that we as just people going through our daily lives don't understand about how that connects to what's happening now. So what the project gives us is the opportunity either to gather those letters and photographs of already deceased veterans and then look at similar experiences on the website and understand more, or it's about connecting with a living veteran and other family members and community members to hear directly, without any mediation at all, the raw, the essential right from that veteran. And by their witness, understand how we're connected to them and to each other through our collective sense of history.
I just thought of something. It's actually quite emotional for him to talk about it, and he doesn't really like to talk about it. But I think that this is probably good healing as well, to be able to be with someone as they recount a painful but important part of their lives. So additional bonus there. What are some of the other collections that make up the Veterans History Project?
Well, you're the expert that can speak to the extra benefits for emotional and mental health reasons. But I will say we're so fortunate at the project to be able to share together this gift with the nation. And one collection that you just made me think of that I would be remiss if I didn't share is that of Dennis Keith Martin, Corporal Dennis Keith Martin. It is a posthumous collection, but it was in witnessing the the grief and the generosity of spirit of his sister, Barbara Martin. She's a musician. She contributed his letters and his photographs and created a rich documentation. And what she said about that experience for her, although it was a difficult one, was that it was so important to her, and I'm not going to quote directly, but that essentially she said to give meaning to his life and his loss, because through sharing his story and his perspective of history, the world, others could understand how he felt about participating in the war. And for all of us, that's a gift to see her generosity of spirit.
Yes, I've had guests on who fall in that category, and I'm going to follow up with them, because the more I think about it, I think this is like the best gift for yourself and for the veteran as well. I'm going to try to get you a table at a veterans event that's coming up. That would be a great way to honor the veterans, to say, stop at the table and please, we'd love to hear the story. I'm getting chills. Where can we go for more information?
Dr. Marissa, I'll work with you whenever, wherever. And anyone can go to our website, which is loc.gov/vets. That's LOC for Library of Congress.gov for government /vets, VETS for veterans.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Monica. I'm going to pull up this website right now so you can sort of see how easy it is to go through, look at all this information, ask a librarian, noteworthy, explore the connections. So please go to www.loc.gov, get more information, make this a holiday to remember by doing something loving for yourself and your loved ones who have done service in and for this country. Thanks again, Monica Mahindra, for coming and back to the studio live. This is Dr. Marissa, always trying to balance out bad news with good news. Now go and have the best day ever. Thanks, Monica.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, wasn't that great? I just did that interview right before the live show, and I do love being able to bring you a great projects, great ideas, great ways with which to, absolutely make this holiday season a special one, because we do not honor, one, our veterans enough, and number two, Christmas has become, very materialistic, very about getting together, but not necessarily spending time together. No thanks to this, all sitting around in the room doing their own thing. And so if you're looking for something for great interaction, especially between younger and older in your family, before they go to the other side, our veterans are they're not young, the ones that served in the wars that we're talking about. So hopefully you'll take that as a Happy 88 challenge. All right, let's get to criticisms and life mottos. So is there anybody here who's never gotten a criticism? I doubt it. You might, those who have already got to the other side, maybe don't get criticism. I was just talking to a sister of mine yesterday who got a remark on her page that was not nice. It was a snide little remark that was not complimentary. And she, like me, we love compliments. We don't. I do have a model called Bake Your Own Cake, which we don't have time to get into today, but it's part of that class that I taught at UCLA. And in a nutshell, it is, if you can bake yourself and know who you are at the core of who you are, and understand the qualities that you are that transcend the roles that you play. So instead of I'm a mom, I'm a consultant, I'm a host, I'm a producer, I'm all those things that mean I do stuff for other people, then you're less likely to be rocked when one of those things don't go well. So instead of saying, I am a mother or I am a broadcaster, and when things don't go well, I can say I am creative, I'm caring, I'm funny, I'm clever, I'm spontaneous. That's not the truth, actually. I'm impatient. They're not all positive. So when I know who I am at the core of who I am, then I'm less likely to get rocked. That's what Bake Your Cake in a nutshell is, the exercise to do with yourself. And then compliments and criticism are just icing on the cake. So that way, when you do get a compliment, you can say, thank you very much, but it isn't going to, that isn't going to define you, because you know who you are. Compliments are fabulous. It makes you feel good. But if you're addicted to compliments, then you are like that, what I said before, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. You're constantly looking outside for validation, which may or may not come. And people are fickle, as Abraham Hicks will say. One of my teachers who, one day someone likes you, the next day they don't. Look at the way stars are treated. I played that little clip from an interview I had with Halle Berry. 1 minute she's loved and put on a pedestal, and then there seems to be like this certain tipping point, and then all of a sudden, you can rock it down. Ask Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So defining ourselves with compliments or criticism is dangerous play. So what I'm encouraging you to do is bake your own cake, know who you are. And then when you get a criticism, you don't automatically fall over with a criticism. And here are some tips for those of you who don't like criticism. And it's interesting. Most people don't like criticism, and most people don't take compliments very well. So those two hand in hand are ways in which we don't help ourselves. So personal mastery is the ability to discern criticism and when to take it, when to hold, when to fold. Is what that person criticized you for something that you should look at? Or is it something that speaks more about them and their displeasure or dis-ease with you? And compliments as well. How are you taking that compliment? So let's dissect that for a second. I do a test where I've collected an assortment of statements as an executive coach. And I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I use Oil of Olay. But as an organizational psychologist, that's actually what my PhD is in. I get to work with leaders at all levels to look at where they are great and where they could use a little opportunity for improvement. I don't like saying strengths and weaknesses. So when it comes to criticism, leadership, really good, effective leaders, often 99 compliments, 1 insult. Guess where the mind goes? The 1 insult, which is ridiculous. Common sense is uncommon. You have 99 things that people have said you're fabulous at, and 1 person gives you a criticism, and that's what you hold in your head for, an hour, a day, a month, the lifetime. It's an interesting dis-ease with yourself that it means what it means to me when you do that is that you are not driving your life car. Balance centered you is not driving your life car. Your internal critic, and if you're a perfectionist, your critic is driving your life car, which is dangerous. Because if your critic is driving, going to drive you off a cliff, because nothing you do is ever good enough. You are your own worst critic. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're only as good as your last success or achievement. That is all bullshitaki, but it's a very strong voice that many of us have that is the antithesis and the barrier to personal mastery and professional mastery. So what do? One, if it's one criticism and 99 compliments, the muscle is to take your focus and choose to focus on the 99 compliments. Easier said than done. I always want to, I might as well say it and live out loud so that you understand that I understand this. I taught at UCLA decades ago. I was a professor for 10 years. I started at Boston University, then came from Europe. I taught there. It was Boston University, Brussels. Dr. William Selim was my director. First time I ever taught a university course, I was very insecure. I was young, and it was a horrible experience. I got the second worst evaluations of all the professors. And I went to him and said, thank you very much for the opportunity. Obviously, I can't do everything well, so this is just not my forte. And thanks for the experience. And he said, nope, you are not going to stop teaching yet. I want you to take the evaluations and come back and teach next semester. And this is your food to eat and digest and learn from the evaluations of the students so that you can prepare and teach the next semester. And I didn't want to do it. It was very difficult to really look at all of the criticism that I got. But it was not criticism. It was feedback. And let me just talk about feedback for a second. When people say, can I give you some feedback? I always say, fine, but can you not get it all over me? And what I have learned how to do is to really understand what feedback is. Feedback is not a character assassination. Feedback, if it is from someone you respect and someone that you admire, it is just telling you how they can connect with you better. That's all feedback is. So if someone's giving you feedback, it is an offer for you to connect with them. And someone will say, when you interrupt, it's very difficult for me to have a conversation with you. So you could react and say, what are you talking about? Or worse, you interrupt too. Let me finish. It's like useless. So when people give me feedback, I try to say they are giving me something about them that if I want to connect with them, I might want to listen to that constructive feedback. And let's take a look at it. Do I interrupt? I don't know. I don't think I do. But let me watch myself for this next day and see if I do. I'm not going to change anything, but I'm going to observe the way that I interact with people. Or I will ask 3 people who I'm close to, who interact with me, to tell me the truth in a kind way. I've recently been given the feedback that I interrupt when people are talking. Do you have that in your experience? Now, big risk, right? Because if they come back, it might be something that is validated from the other person. Or they might say, no, in fact, you don't speak up enough. So there's value in knowing how you are impacting other people is the bottom line. When you can look at criticism as a measure of your intent, is your intent to be effective when you communicate with others? Absolutely. Is your impact the same? Well, you don't know until you find out what the impact is, and that's what criticism is. So I went and took that criticism from the students, and I restructured the entire course. I practiced in front of the mirror. I was way less insecure because I felt like I was prepared. I felt like I knew the material. I had one, under my belt. I had the faith and the support of the director. And I went from the second lowest evaluation to the second highest evaluation for all the professors that semester. So that's my one example. There's another one that's not so fun, but one example of really, if we can take criticism and not see it as an attack on character and not see it as something that shows that we're not worthy, which is another lie, then we can use that to fuel our own effectiveness. That's what feedback is. That's what constructive criticism is. Now let's look at not constructive criticism, because the more you're out there, if you are doing anything like I am, motivational speaker, singer-songwriter, broadcaster, host, producer, you're an author, anything that requires a reaction from someone in order to measure your effectiveness, which is unfortunate. I hate numbers. I don't buy numbers. If I get $1 for every time someone says, I thought you would think with blah, 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 you would have 7 zeros after. And it's like, everybody buys numbers. I don't buy numbers. I do the Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come. Field of Dreams. You know what I stand for. You can either support me or not, but it's okay, because I don't have the market on happiness. I don't have the market on healing. I don't have the market on anything. Mine is just one way of approaching things. And those who benefit from listening or practicing, I am super, super, super happy and grateful for that. But that's not why I do it. I do it because I love what I do. And if you can get something from or collateral, not damage, the collateral non-damage from me, great. But that's not what I do. I love what I do. So there you go. But criticism, if you can put criticism in the category of feedback, and feedback is the information that someone's giving you to connect with them, it's a lot easier to take. Now, if you are in the public eye, if you are doing things that people are reacting to, here's the rule that I use on whether to actually see it as feedback or it's not, and you can ignore it. One is, who's saying it? And my friend who was telling me about the negative feedback, she said that she went and looked at their profile, and they were, pretty much not someone that you need to really attend to what they're saying. Another category is if you find someone who is always saying something negative everywhere, like look at the way they interact with others, then there really is nothing that you need to even give them time in your head or consideration with what they're giving you. The other one is my 333 rule, which is this criticism something you've heard 3 times by 3 different people? So 3 times by 3 different people, then you might want to think about it 3 times. So if you have more than one person who said that you chew with your mouth open, or maybe need some deodorant, or that you are late, or that you are flaky, or that you talk too much. I know that most of the time I talk, I try to talk in a balanced way. Obviously, today I don't have a guest. I can talk all the time, which is why I keep 1 day a week just for me. When early on, when I was doing this 651 consecutive weeks ago, the first year, I had to learn how to not talk so much. And I still will get criticism that I talk too much. And I have to learn how to say, it's kind of what I do. I try not to. More people enjoy my talking than don't. And so I'm not perfect. It's something I do watch. And if you don't like it, I apologize, but you don't have to tune in to me. You can go somewhere else. But 3 times by 3 different people. And if you don't ask for feedback, that's another way to, when you ask for feedback, don't react. Knee-jerk reactions often make you look like a jerk. But asking for feedback from people that you respect is a great way to improve personal mastery, because we have blind spots. And another model that I use is Johari window, which is not a Sanskrit. It's Joe and Harry, who I was blessed to be able to learn from them as professors. And they have this great model that has 4 quadrants, and one of the quadrants is a blind spots, things that you don't know about yourself, but somebody else sees and knows about you. So it behooves us sometimes to look at our blind spots, ask people continuously, is there something that I'm doing that I'm not aware of that is influencing or making me less effective? I don't have to be afraid of the answer for that. And even if they give me something, I can test it. 3, 3, 3. Hopefully that is a helpful tip for you on this show about personal mastery today. The second part of personal mastery is called life motto. What is the legacy that you want to leave is another way to look at this. Often we're so trapped or wrapped up and with our schedules and our daily routines that we forget why we're here. Typical scenario, alarm goes off, snooze, alarm goes off, snooze, alarm goes off, snooze, floss, forget the floss, brush, get kids ready, get insignificant other ready, sit in traffic, get to work, answer calls, go to meetings, answer calls, miss lunch, working deadlines, get in the car, traffic, get home, cook the meal, get people homework, get them to bed, forget the floss, exhausted, next morning, snooze, alarm goes off, and then you say, it's Christmas. What happened to the year? And this is where I'm asking you, are you happy with that? And most people are not. And in order to change your level of happiness, you have to change your habits. So one of the habits is to stop for a second and ask, what is my life motto? My motto for the past is no regrets. My motto for the future is don't die wondering. Halle Berry's is when you're going through hell, keep going. What expresses, or what are some things that can help you measure how well you're doing? So actually hers is not a life motto. Hers is a tool to help her through tough times. So my life mottos help me through my tough times as well. No regrets means I'm going to live every single moment as if it's my last one. Because if I died right now, I'm good. I've done everything I've wanted to do. There's nothing left that is undone. That and all the things that have happened to me, I have no regrets. I wouldn't change a thing. So that helps me get through tough times, because when something bad happens, I say, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this, because I don't want regrets. Don't die wondering means I love to do everything once. I love to do learn new things. I don't want to miss out on anything that I want to do. So what's your life motto? If you want to play with me, put it in the chat. But I want you to think about this until I see you next Monday on Mental Health Matters Mondays, because this is the time for you to love your life. Be happy with your life. Claim your birthright to be happy 88% of the time. Hopefully, I gave you something to think about in personal mastery between criticisms and life mottos, and something definitely to do with your loved ones during the season, the Veterans Project. So loc.gov, Monica Mahendran. If you missed that part of the show, go back, free subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get that. Thank you so much for joining me today. As usual, just love being able to be here with you. Remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Tomorrow, doctor's in the house with myself and Dr. Tiffany Tate. I can tell you that that's so funny. She picked a topic, bad habits. She doesn't know that I actually talked about good habits today. So there you go. Thursday, Straight Talk with myself and James Hawthorne. We've been talking about dating again. And then Friday, the Hollywood Rebel Report with myself and Ricky Rebel. Thanks for joining me. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.